progeny. There's an authorized Vedic process for doing everything, including creating children. And there's a ceremony called Garbhadhan Samskara for creating first-class, enlightened children. There's a ceremony that allows you to bring in an enlightened soul into this world, and then give them a body that has the attributes that would enable them to be very effective to help others attain spiritual enlightenment. But since nobody knows that science, all we're doing is creating rascals, more and more rascals, you know, because the quality of the act of procreation determines the quality of the child that results from it. And if our mood is in the mode of passion, remember, mode of passion is all about selfish personal enjoyment and goal-oriented activity. So if we create a child in that mood, then the personality that can come through that is also going to be in the same mood.
So you can have sex in the mode of goodness.
You can have sex in the mode of goodness, right. You can. But that art has been largely lost.
That would presumably be love, based in love.
No, it's not love. There is no love in this material world. Let's get this straight, people. There is no love in this material world, because love has to be eternal, and nothing in this world is eternal. It's all temporary, it's all conditional. You say the wrong thing to your so-called love, and they're out, they're hitting the highway, they're gone. They leave you in the dust.
Then can you inoculate this material world with transcendental love?
No. But we can open the door and allow people to leave, to go out into the real world, into the transcendental world, where there's real love. See? This world is forever condemned because it's under the influence of time. Time means it has a beginning and an end. Time means it's conditional, it's limited. It's always going to be under the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. It's always going to be contaminated. It's always going to be faulty. Therefore, the only real help that we can give people is to open up this pathway to transcendental knowledge and give people the tools that they need to walk it. And of course, we can have love in that context, that we're helping people to get out of the material world, right? But part of that means that we show people the futility of trying to enjoy or trying to do anything worthwhile in the material context. It has to be in the spiritual context. It has to lead someplace. It has to lead to a transcendental destination. And you can't show any material activity that leads to a transcendental destination. The only activities that do are transcendental activities.
Transcendental material activities.
Huh?
Transcendental material activities.
No, no. Anytime you take the material energy and you engage it in your transcendental service, it becomes transcendentalized by means of its relationship to the Supreme.
Is this now a transcendental DLP projector?
Right now, because we're using it for some transcendental purpose.
Because then after I turn it off, does it go back to just a material artifact?
Well, if you start using it, you know, to project porn or something like that.
Well, then then it becomes an ignorant projector.
Yeah.
Right now it's operating in the mode of goodness.
Or transcendental.
Transcendental?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, because it's engaged directly in devotional service. Yeah. Krishna's energy is Krishna's energy, right? But when we see it as material and belonging to us, then we engage it in a material way. But when we see it as Krishna's energy and we engage it according to Krishna's instructions, then it becomes transcendentalized because it's connected. Prabhupada used to use the example of when you have something connected to the electric mains, it becomes electrified. The power plant could be miles and miles and miles away, but because it's connected, it also becomes electrified by means of conductance. So similarly, when we connect something with Krishna, it becomes transcendentalized. Even though Krishna may not be apparently present in this world, the fact that we're using it in Krishna's service connects it with him and then it becomes spiritualized.
If I'm feeling a love connection with you, for instance, I'm not in love with your body.
Right.
I'm in love with your consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we're in love, we're together, and we're experiencing the common denominator of transcendental love. It's our merging of consciousness.
Merging?
Merging, dance of consciousness.
So it's a relationship that's based on transcendental truth, on spiritual truth.
So do we have a direct relationship, or is it a triad relationship?
It's a triad through Krishna.
Oh,
I'm in relation to Krishna, and you're in, if I help you get yourself in relation to Krishna, then we can have real love.
Am I moderating my love through Krishna to you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so not directly to you?
No, everybody goes through Krishna. Everything and everyone goes through Krishna because Krishna is the ground of being, and the absolute reference point towards which, or in relation to which, everything is measured. The value of everything is determined according to how much it satisfies Krishna, or how closely in relationship to Krishna it is.
So Krishna is the hub.
Yeah, he's the origin. He's the
nucleus.
0 point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tough to hear that. Come on, Connor, give him a break. It's tough to hear that we have been cheated. It's hard to understand that we have been duped or sold a phony knockoff of the real thing. Because in material consciousness, if we don't know the way out, it's really all we have, and it's the only hope we have. Even though it's a false hope, it's better than no hope at all. So we don't want to hear that material love or material lovemaking it isn't something real, right? But nothing in this material world is fully real. It's all just a perverted reflection of the spiritual reality that's its source, that's its origin. See, all this talk that we've been doing over the last couple of days, in a way, is just sales talk. I'm just trying to convince you to do the practices. If you do the practice, then you will taste these things directly, and then you'll come to the same conclusion. Okay? I'm speaking from experience. It's not like I read this in a book somewhere. Well, I did read it in a book somewhere. But then I put it into practice in my life, and I found that, yeah, what it says in the book is true. Imagine that. So now, I'm speaking from experience, and I'm trying to convince you to have a similar experience. So, in essence, like what I said, what I'm doing is like sales talk. It's like, yada yada, try this mantra. You'll love it. You'll like it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm a pitchman, right? But all what I'm saying is meaningless unless you actually take up the practice and do it for yourself. And then you feel, just like last night, we were chanting, and then we were sitting in circle, and we were feeling this delightful mood, this wonderful mood that was coming. And you can interpret it as, oh, we're feeling love with each other, But really what's happening is, we are all in a positive relationship with Krishna, permeated by the holy name. And so Krishna is revealing himself to all of us. And so we're becoming attached to the association in which that's possible.
Well, what about our relationship with one another?
Okay? That is also through our service to God, as service to Krishna.
I love my friend Uwe, and I love my friend Kathy, and I love Nate. I love these people. I love them.
That's great.
Yeah.
So then we want our friends, we want the people that we love to have the highest thing or the best thing or the greatest value in life. Then we'll engage them in this spiritual process, and we'll encourage them to make progress until they realize these things too.
So at the end of the day, life in meat space sucks.
Yeah, it does. We ought to die. Remember being born?
No.
I do. I went back through depth psychology, primal scream therapy, 3 years of it. I went all the way back. I went before my birth. I went back to my conception. And it's like, I don't ever want to go through that again.
Why? What happened?
Oh, well, being in the womb and all that is horrible.
Oh.
Oh, it's just horrible. It's described in the scriptures too. But the child is in the womb, like upside down, curled up in this little tiny space, and there's skin irritations, and there's worms biting his skin in different places. There's all kinds of bacteria and parasites in the womb. You know, it's not a nice place at all. Every time the mother eats something, the digestive juices, gastric juices burn the child in the womb by going through the amniotic fluid and through the umbilical. And if she eats anything spicy or really sour, you know, like vinegar or lemon or something like that, or if she gets a stomach ache, the child suffers